Tonight, 2 people are dead after a high-rise fire in Centertown.
My floor became completely hectic. Everybody was closing their doors. Some people were yelling and screaming.
What we know and how the community is reacting to the tragic blaze. The latest on the conflict in the Middle East. Another night of sirens in Tel Aviv as this war enters its 3rd week. And a pilgrimage to Ottawa's House of Hockey.
I can't believe it's been years since the last one, to be honest. Like, it's been crazy. We're all super fired up to be back.
Why these Sens superfans are making the long trek to the Canadian Tire Centre while supporting a good cause. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this shortened 30-minute newscast. 2 people are dead and 1 person is in critical condition tonight after a fire ripped through part of a high-rise building in Centertown. Emergency crews arriving at the apartment complex on Somerset Street West near Bank Street last night at around 9:30. And that is where we find CTV's Kimberly Johnson live on the scene. So Kimberly, what more can you tell us?
Austin, police have cleared the street here, but earlier today they said this was a challenging one. They say they were met with intense flames and that ultimately claimed 2 lives. And residents here today are praising the work of those firefighters to contain the blaze.
Flames and smoke leap out of a top floor balcony of a Centertown apartment Saturday night. A deadly fire that claimed the lives of 2 people and critically injured another.
I heard something like a bang.
Ottawa paramedics say they were called to the 19th floor of this high-rise on Somerset Street West at around 9:30 Saturday night. 1 person was declared dead on scene. The other taken to hospital where they later died. 2 others were taken to hospital, 1 in critical condition, the other with minor injuries.
My floor became completely hectic.
Mark Giroux lives on the 18th floor and says residents were quickly alerted to the fire.
Everybody was closing their doors. Some people were
2 others
yelling
were
and
taken
screaming.
to hospital, 1 in critical
it was
condition,
very, very
the
tense.
other with minor injuries.
They even told us that we could stay in our apartment, but take some precaution.
I do know, based on the 911 caller from the balcony, that the exit was completely engulfed in flames.
Fire officials say one of the multiple 911 calls they received was from someone trapped on the balcony of the apartment that was ablaze. That person was removed safely. An e-bike was found inside the apartment as the cause of the fire remains under investigation.
Lithium-ion batteries burn hot and they burn fast, and regardless of if it's what started the fire or not, these firefighters were met right at the front door with heavy smoke, heat, and flames, and they pushed their way in and they made the rescues. In 23 minutes, they had all 4 people out and the fire under control. Mayor
Mark Sutcliffe taking to social media Sunday, saying, "My thoughts are with their loved ones and with everyone in the building and surrounding community who has been affected." Crews prevented the blaze from spreading to other units, and shortly after 10 p.m., the fire was declared under control. Those who live in the neighborhood praising the quick work.
Very unfortunate, like my feelings for like the family and friends of the people who have died, and like hoping that the 3rd person be well soon.
Fire officials are providing tips if you are in a high-rise building that is involved in a fire. They say if it's safe to do so, leave as soon as possible. But if you can't, keep the smoke from entering your apartment by using duct tape to seal around the door and place wet towels at the bottom, they say, to seal air ducts and vents the same way. If you have a balcony, they suggest move to it and close the door behind you. Austin?
Okay, CTV's Kimberly Johnson reporting live on location for us tonight. Kimberly, thank you very much. Well, turning now to the latest on the war in the Middle East. As the conflict enters its 3rd week, air sirens once again rang out in Tel Aviv. CTV's Heather Wright now with the latest on the war in Iran.
Another night of sirens in Tel Aviv as this war enters its 3rd week. Iranian missiles seen here being intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome. though officials say cluster warheads caused damage at several locations in the country. On Sunday, Israel's foreign minister visited a site that was hit in the north, denying reports that Israel is running low on interceptor missiles.
The answer is no.
Gideon Saar also says there are no plans to have talks with Lebanon in the coming days.
If the Lebanese government and the Lebanese army want to change something, they should do something in order to stop the attacks being done by Hezbollah from Lebanese territory.
Lebanon was dragged into the war earlier this month when Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militant group, fired rockets at Israel in response to the killing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Since then, Lebanon's health ministry says more than 800 people have been killed, with close to 1 million forced from their homes, some living in these makeshift tents. I don't have a tent. I don't have anything, says Mohammed Marie. I have no money to rent a house.
It's a pretty dire situation. You know, the crisis is escalating and displacement is rising rapidly.
The United States and Israel continued their offensive against Iran on Sunday as U.S. President Donald Trump called on several allies to help open the Strait of Hormuz. The key passageway has effectively been shut down by Iran since the war began, leading to a spike in global oil prices. On Sunday, Trump's energy secretary reiterated the administration's message that the high prices resulting from this war are temporary.
The conflict will come to the end in the next few weeks, and we'll see a rebound in supplies and a pushing down of prices after that.
A senior Iranian official says a condition of this war ending is the United States leaving the Gulf region entirely. Another indication that a diplomatic solution at this time remains unlikely. Heather Wright, CTV News, Istanbul.
Here in Ottawa, we got a taste that winter weather is not quite done with us just yet. Let's take a live look at some of the roadways here in our region. Not too bad right now. Obviously slick in some parts as that snow was falling. And we're going to take our first look at the weather forecast now. We're sitting at -2 degrees. A chance that snow will come back at some point this evening. -1 is tonight's low. Expecting cloudy conditions, though. -2 degrees out in Bancroft. And same goes for Gatineau, -2 in Petawawa as well. It is 0 degrees expecting for the low in Montreal. Warming up significantly tomorrow. A chance of thunderstorm, however, in Ottawa with a high of 16 degrees. 11 is the high tomorrow in Gatineau. That same risk of a thunderstorm. O-Train Line 1 service has been fully restored after several days of interruption sparked by Wednesday's freezing rain. OC Transpo says trains are once again running between Tunney's Pasture and Blair stations as of 8 o'clock this morning. Trains stopped operating on the eastern leg of the line on Wednesday after a train near Lee's station experienced a power issue and the train line was seen sparking and snapping. Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney is in the UK after meeting with leaders of 5 Nordic nations focusing on middle power influence. CTV's Judy Trin is traveling with the Prime Minister and has more on how Canada and its Nordic allies can counter threats not only from Russia, but also from the United States.
Okay, and one time here.
The leaders of the Nordic 5 and Canada, middle powers, meeting to advance their security interests.
We believe that these 6 countries are not weak countries. They are strong countries in terms of their values, in terms of their determination.
Forced to strengthen their united front after U.S. President Donald Trump refused to rule out using military force to annex Greenland, a threat he eventually walked back.
It's the ultimate long-term deal, and I think it puts everybody in a really good position.
In Norway, the prime ministers discussed how to put into action Carney's call in Davos for cooperation to counter great power rivalries.
One of the reasons why we have been able to stand firmly on very common values, that you have to respect sovereign states, that you have to respect a people's right for self-determination, is because of our good friends. In the Nordic countries, in Europe, but also with partners outside, especially you, Mark. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Canada's sovereignty has also been threatened by the U.S. Carney was asked directly by Danish media if Canada would provide military assistance if another NATO ally invaded Greenland.
We stand foursquare behind the principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity. It is for the people of Greenland and Denmark to decide their futures. And first point, being absolutely clear about that, being clear that we will back that with measures as necessary.
In a joint statement, the Nordics and Canada declared that they are allies committed to Arctic security to ensure that people in their part of the world can prosper in peace. The 6 nations pledged to increase their Arctic presence and work together to uphold the rules-based system of international trade. After Norway, Carney flew to the United Kingdom. On Monday's agenda, he'll meet with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer to discuss the Middle East conflict and the growing humanitarian crisis in Lebanon. Then, a meeting with the King. Judy Trin, CTV News, London.
While most fans drive or take the bus to see the Ottawa Senators play at the Canadian Tire Centre, one group of friends is taking the long way. For the 3rd year in a row, they're walking all the way to the game, turning the trek into a tradition for a good cause. CTV's Josh Moreno has that story.
Go Sens, go! Adam Copeland and his friends are taking game day to another level.
I can't believe it's been years since the last one, to be honest. Like, it's been crazy. We're all super fired up to be back.
Just after 9 Sunday morning, the group hit the road, heading to the Canadian Tire Centre 8 hours before puck drop.
Until they are able to get the downtown arena going, I think we'll do it every year, probably, and push it back a little bit further and further each time until we are at our physical and mental limit.
Good job, guys. Good job. Keep going. We're going to keep the momentum going. Let's go, Ottawa. It's become an annual tradition. Starting in 2024, the group set out a goal to walk to the CTC for a game. Last year's starting point, LeBreton Flats. Now they're taking it a step further, starting at Parliament Hill, pushing their trek to nearly 30 kilometres.
I kind of like the idea of just making it a little bit longer each year, like just to kind of keep things interesting. We do it because it's fun, and most importantly, we do it because it's raising money for a really important, great cause.
They're already going the extra mile. The walk has turned into much more than a fun adventure, raising money for the Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa. When they started their walk, they had raised over $11,000, already surpassing their total from last year.
We didn't find out we reached our goal until literally like halfway through the walk. So even reaching it after Adam was on TSN yesterday was honestly a great moment. We were all in the group chat freaking out.
We're so grateful for Sens fans like Adam and his friends who do this out of the goodness of their hearts. We see how much our Sens fans care about their community, and it's evident here today.
But the weather conditions not making it any easier. Harsh terrain creating many obstacles along the way, but nothing these dedicated fans can't endure. But with just under 2 kilometers to go, the boys now joined by members of the Boys and Girls Club.
It means so much when you have also benefited from the programs that they go through each and every day. And just seeing the change that we make in their lives is really what pays off for us.
And by the time they arrived, watching their favorite team play, has never felt better. Josh Moreno, CTV News.
And the Sens, they're still playing right now. It's 2-2 against the Sharks in the second period. Well, Canada's Paralympic team is coming home with 15 medals from the Milano Cortina Games after adding a silver in men's para-hockey and a bronze in skiing on the last day of competition. Canada's men's para-hockey team lost 4-2 to the Americans. On the slopes, Kalle Eriksson and guide Sierra Smith, they won bronze in the men's vision slalom race. In total, Canada claimed 15 medals, 3 golds, 4 silver, and 8 bronze. Well, a blast from the past today at the Nepean Sportsplex for the Ottawa Nostalgia and Collectible Show, with some items dating back to the 1900s, the early 1900s, that is. It was a flashback-induced event for all. CTV's Camille Wilson has that story.
I get flashbacks when I see all the old toys and records and everything else around.
A walk down memory lane at the Ottawa Nostalgia and Collectible Show. For Jason Sakely, it's all about adding to his growing collection.
I have 3,500 CDs, mainly vinyl CDs and cassettes.
But it's one character specifically he's on the hunt for.
Always looking for this guy, as you can see, kind of always repping him. So yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon, he's a Universal monster from 1954. Been obsessed with him since a little child, and now I'm in my 50s and still looking for him.
More than 50 dealers at the show with thousands of authentic and hard-to-find collectibles.
We brought a lot of different kinds of nostalgia, like early advertising, toys, paperwork that relates to different things that people collect, railroad things.
Back in the day. This family spotting toys from their childhood.
We wanted to show Elliot some of our toys that we played with when we were little.
When you see people in here, they're looking for things from the past. And
Maybe they're not even buying them, but they're touching them and saying, do you remember this back in the 1950s?
And items to remember late family members.
Because my father's name was Joe Patterson. Just kind of neat, seeing the full name.
Pieces from all across the country and the world dating back to the early 1900s.
It's nostalgic, like we hadn't seen these in years.
I feel a little old, but it's kind of cool to see and kind of wishing that I'd hung on to a few things from back then.
In most cases, you're likely to score 1 or 2 special fines.
But I already have it. That's the problem. I already have this one, but the price was right, so I got another one. Because one day I'm going to have to sell one of them, and if I have a backup, I'm good.
The biannual show returns in the fall, October 18th. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
This war is proving to be unpredictable.
After the break, more on the war in Iran as experts keep a close eye on the threatened energy sector. And here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is -4 degrees. The Strait of Hormuz has become a focal point in the Iran war. Its effective closure drastically disrupting global energy supplies and driving up the price of oil. CTV's Jeremy Sharon now with how Canada is responding.
This is Karg Island, where U.S. President Donald Trump says strikes have destroyed military targets, but so far have not hit key oil infrastructure.
It would also be a massive escalation if they went after specifically the oil terminals. But this war is proving to be unpredictable.
The island is said to be crucial to Iran's economy, handling 90% of the country's oil exports.
But if the oil-producing infrastructure in Iran also is damaged in the long term, that means that these price shocks could continue for quite a while after the conflict ends.
Those price shocks so far caused by Iran's blocking of the Strait of Hormuz, a deliberate attempt to disrupt global energy supplies.
I think this whole situation is continuing to spiral downward.
But today, an apparent call from U.S. President Donald Trump on social media for a coordinated and collaborative effort to get ships moving through the passage again. The countries of the world that receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage, and we will help.
This is spreading, and it's roping in more countries as we speak.
Meanwhile, the 32 member countries of the International Energy Agency, of which Canada is a member, have agreed to release hundreds of millions of barrels from emergency reserves to provide short-term relief, though Canada doesn't maintain a strategic reserve itself.
The exporters of oil, like Norway, like Canada, we don't have to have reserves because we're providing oil to the market.
While industry experts call the move an important step, they warn it won't fill the void.
It's the equivalent of about 3 million barrels a day, whereas there's between 9 and 10 million barrels a day that aren't able to transit through the Strait of Hormuz.
Energy warfare is what some experts have called what Iran is doing. But some warn if the U.S. were to target oil infrastructure, it would destabilize the global energy market far beyond what we've already seen. Jeremy Sharon, CTV News, Ottawa.
We had a wild weather day here in the nation's capital. Some cloudy conditions to start the day, and then it turned to snow. You see some people out walking the dog before the snow fully hit, or maybe they're out for a little bit of a cross-country ski. And then the snowflakes started flying. We got a little bit more snow than we were initially anticipating, and now a fresh blanket sits across the capital. This all started at around 2 p.m., but we do have a real warm-up in store for tomorrow as we take another look at the weather forecast. Most of that weather activity clearing by about 5 or 6 o'clock, depending on where you are in the city. Out on the East Coast, it's -4 degrees in St. John's. They have some snow there as well. -2 in Charlottetown. Quebec City sitting at -2 as well. We're now sitting at -4. You see Windsor at 19 degrees, mostly sunny conditions. We will be seeing those temperatures in short order. -2 in Calgary. It's -2 in Edmonton as well. 8 degrees and cloudy in Vancouver. So the regional forecast calling for light rain or some showers tonight, and a low of -1, or an expectation of an average around -1 this afternoon, or this evening rather, and then 14 degrees by tomorrow afternoon, 8 degrees for the Ottawa Valley, more rain in store there and along the Seaway, a high of 17 degrees, a chance of showers, potential for some thunderstorms as you see there as well. So the 7-day forecast shows that warm up In store for tomorrow, 40% chance of showers, potential for some thunder, and then getting back down to the freezing temperatures. -8 on Tuesday, 60% chance of flurries, -5 on Wednesday. Above the freezing mark for Thursday, but some sloppy conditions with periods of snow and rain, getting back to -1 on Sunday. It was a great day to be a Ottawa 67s fan.
Up top for Kuda. Kuda will set it up for Whitehead. Shot scores!
Animal abuse in Niagara. The Ottawa 67s taming the Ice Dogs this afternoon. Nick Whitehead and Spencer Bowes with 2 goals apiece in this one. 6-0 is the final score. Ryder Fedorov with a shutout for the Barber Poles. Well, the calm before the storm in Los Angeles tonight ahead of the 98th Annual Academy Awards. Here's a look before the award ceremony got going. Soon, Hollywood's biggest stars will be on the red carpet for the Oscars. Canadians are well represented in this one as well. Coverage begins at 6:30 right here on CTV. We have a CTV connection to the adult synchronized figure skating provincials in Canada this weekend. We will tell you all about that right after the break. Before we go to break, there's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It looks like the snow has dissipated. We are sitting at -4 degrees.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
A roller coaster situation when it comes to the weather here in Ottawa. One last look at your forecast. Waking up to 5 degrees and a chance of showers expected to wash away and melt much of, if not all of that snow that fell today, because we're getting up to a daytime high of 14 degrees. There is a risk of some thunderstorms before we revert back to freezing at -8 degrees being the high for Tuesday. A 60% chance for some more flurries, -5 on Wednesday, and then warming up Thursday, Friday, and starting to cool down on Saturday with another 40% chance of flurries. -1 is the expected high on Sunday. Finally for us tonight, this is fun. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us up on the stage because you took home some hardware today at the 2026 Skate Ontario Provincial Adult Championships in Canada.
That's right, Austin. It was my entire team, and we saw figure skaters from across the province who took to the ice this weekend, both singles and synchro. And our synchronized skating team, Capital Ice, took home a bronze medal. And here's a look at our second skate. Well, the theme was Pitbull, and everyone had fun on the ice. Preparation and training started more than 6 months in advance, with the provincials wrapping up the competitive season for both singles this weekend and synchronized skating.
And yeah, you got the bronze medal here as well, eh?
I brought this in for proof.
Absolutely, showing it off, a little show and tell here in the newsroom. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Super exciting, and congratulations to your entire team. Well done.
Thank you. Everyone had a great time.
Yeah, no kidding. It looked like a blast. Love the Pitbull as well. Love the choice of music. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the Oscars.